Hello. Right, I'm well off schedule. My boys are up and sort of settling, watching a film, but I really need them settled in bed. I should have actually have been ready for 9 o'clock for something completely different tonight. So I'm going to do this really quickly while it's on my mind and interrupt my whole life and schedule right now to do this really quickly, because if I don't do this now, I won't get back round to doing it. Hiya Claire, hiya Karen. I know probably not the people I'm speaking to, I don't know, but this is for people that I'm probably not already connected to, and I'm now reaching out even further to another network of people, and that's ex-escorts, ex-prostitutes, and what's called there's a whole line of different things that comes into this world. Now, something clicked today with a police officer, a very young police officer that, slightly making me flutter today. He was rather fucking cute. Looks even nicer in person than the photo I got, being I was taking it from the side. So anyway, something's hit to me with what's going on with the drugs and them wanting to let the middle class know that they're all going to get a text if obviously these phones get pulled. As somebody who already understands from that side, I'm not talking about any other drugs, but I do know the drug world. Don't understand drugs, but I know the drug world through the streets, everything, how the phones work, how it all runs, how people run, how the bikes run. And obviously, you know, in and out of my life, how I'd managed EDS was with cannabis. So I understand everything from that point of view too, with the fact that in 2003, I think it was, the guy that I was living with got busted for 27 cannabis plants. So yes, I do know. And also, I know what it's like to be a Northern Angel. What is a Northern Angel? I've been many angels. I've been Des Grant's angels, working in the clubs, doing normal things, looking after the real things and people like that, seeing what goes on. I've also been a Northern Angel. That meant that I worked for a guy called Andy that I met in the living room in Manchester, where I had to go back and give him a fuck. I knew it was coming. I thought here we go, let it go quick, because if I can do it with him, I can do it with anyone. No money exchange, but wow, what a night. It's taken to every amazing place, as was I with many people around. Have I frequented with footballers, and did I take the virginity of a prince? There are many things that I can tell you from inside, but what I can't tell you is about being beaten, locked in a cupboard, because I was an escort who worked on a website. My name was Sean. My mum doesn't like it, but come on, people, you've got to stand behind it. Now, what I'm asking is if there are any cool girls out there, if you are willing to come forward to do something with me. I need us in every university, and more so if you have had your children taken as a result of even this being used. Now, there is somebody in my life that I really would love to bring forward, but I don't know whether she's ready for this particular testimony while she's in her high heels and everything, and I don't think people know. Many people have a past that sits behind them. Many university students, it's coming. Lots of barristers and solicitors, we all know, had to take it from behind to get through university because daddy and mummy didn't pay for their university fees. Would they tell you about it? Probably not. Would they clip-clop in their heels and probably not have some shame? But maybe if you were an ex-escort, might actually not give you much blame. So anyway, guys, this is Portsmouth University. This is about what is consent. I think it's really important that we talk about this all the way, because there's a difference in what is yes and what is no. Do I know about dominatrix? Now, this is quite funny. I've never actually been in the full bed cage, but I've been paid to put my hands on a wall and pretend I was being whipped. And oh, I got paid. One man even got me to sit in my gym knickers and just cover his face and let know whether he was breathing. One even wanted me to shit on his face. Kicking his balls he liked, actually. It was quite funny. I couldn't quite do this one, but I had quite a decent conversation. My boys are still up, and this is a conversation for after they are in bed. However, as with Liam and Daniel, they have always known everything about me. When I went through the papers, I sat down with my boys and I said to them, look, come on, there's going to be a lot of noise. How are you going to feel if things come out about mummy and all your school friends think it's all funny? Actually, my son laughed, and after the media, somebody offered his mum to him a couple of quid if he would go out with some girl. My son thought it was hilarious. He turned around to someone and said, you know what? Your father's my mother's best client. Bless him a lot. And that's what he said he would say to people anyway. So anyway, my children, my two older boys know much about my life. Obviously, I was writing a book, things like that. It was Stephen and my mum who had an issue with what was going to come behind it. Oh, she drove in and she wrote all over the media. She says she was abused by her family. Don't believe her. Oh, my family, they just stood left behind, never did anything and took me to the side. Now, what is consent? Is consent sexy? Should it between a married couple? Married couple, you say, penis enters a vagina. So we're now got to deal with lesbians, gays who think they can do it behind them. It doesn't work that way. A child can't be conceived. You can't keep taking. Yes, darling. Oh, you're shattered. Right. Anyway, this is a conversation that I need to continue. But later on, I really need... Oh, you want some more of that? Okay, let me just do this. He's absolutely shattered. Today has not gone very much to plan. I've come all the way home. Well, not all the way home. Yeah, all the way home, obviously for today. But something has reminded me that we could really, really play a game. Now, I'm going to be looking... Yeah, I'm going to be looking for people who are already... still in that system. You can't have a pimp because they'll come and take a bullet to my head. I can't really deal with that right now. However, I could deal with a couple of cool girls and high-level people who can pull along a couple of people. Now, on our websites, when I was a cool girl, we used to put the registration numbers down of people that we were wary of. And we used to have this database system. I wonder if it still exists. Now, I can't access any of the escort world because I am an ex. I wasn't a prostitute. I didn't stand under a red thing. But this is how I got myself through university. As a mum to two children, the benefits kicked me off and said, because I was going to the gym, mate, it was off in the head. They tried to do me for benefit fraud, saying I didn't have a condition because I was moving along and going to university with the help of social care. They took it all away. They did what was a mother to do when our house was about to crash between us. And I sat there and I wrote to Andy and said... naively, is there any way we can go to bed? No, that's not what I said. I said, is there any way that it's just time and companionship? I spoke to other women. They thought I was a reporter. It didn't go very down well. And then I met someone's daughter. A threesome with a mother and a daughter I couldn't do. There was many things that just off. There was so much to do. And bless Dean as we talk about the days of saunas, not things that we've done, but things that we've seen of saunas. Now, do people say anything? Because 14-year-old boys are being dragged into saunas and girls are growing up in their mother's eyes. Now, there's another side to all of this, isn't there, Gillespie? Because some of these children are models and people that are being pulled in, actually, and they think it's all glamorous. They think all the nice high heels and all of the coke up their noses. Oh, it goes on everywhere, guys. Now, why do you think they're worn in the middle class? Because can't be having on your drug dealer's nose now, can we? Because be aware, people, if you keep your numbers in your drug dealer's phone right now, once the polices and piggies are forced to go in and pull them, they have to make sure that your number's not in it, because if you get a text to say, hey, we've got you, they're going to be pulling in also the users. I'm not ribbing them and rhyming. I'm trying to be quick because I've got to be a mother and turn around this quick. So what I'm basically asking is how many people are willing to come forward who have had their children taken and talking about sexual abuse and being able to go into universities and warn our future generation, that here in the UK, that they can take your children for whatever fuck-ups you make, whatever age you are. Now, my foster care file comes from 15. And that's all I've been persecuted, and even that wasn't even true. So this is what I'm thinking of doing. I've really got to go. I'm being pulled in many directions because Mum has got to wash up and do normal things. A coffee I have with some milk. My children are not happy because obviously we've been to the church and it's this stuff. So anyway, I'm not rhyming. I'm just literally trying to be quick, as I said, because Tim, you're a dick. Tim's doing my head in. Now, please come gaslight me, because if you want to put the frying monkeys out there and watch all the men come in, being we're talking about escorting, and think that they're going, boom, it's time, men, we kicked your fucking asses, and it's time us women raised our boys to be real men. Now, consent, they say, and what is consent? Consent is sexual between two consenting adults that actually want to make love. What was making love, they say? We don't talk about this shit. Well, maybe we can talk about a little bit of sex and a little bit of fucking. But are we really going to talk about what it's all really about? When a penis enters a vagina and it creates a baby, and a baby comes into the womb and into the world, and then all of a sudden two people who have just had a shag can't really ask to look after the baby. And that's all I've got to say at this particular point. But I'm really looking for ex-escorts for something else. Ones that can go in, make sure we've got the evidence, and the other ones we need to be educating to make sure that people understand that we've got to set a new standard. And it's not talking about social distancing anymore and keeping the pricks quite away. It's actually talking about our personal boundaries and how special we all are. And I think it's really important that it doesn't really matter what age it is. My two boys in there, unappropriate, but they can't hear me. I do it deliberately. The TV on is in front. They've got some bits and I know they can't hear what I'm saying in here. So that's okay. So where do we draw the line? But now we've got to go and educate them, because these young girls are never going to grow into the queens that they are. Queens, you say? I'm not talking about boys, because come on, fellas, we need some real men. Where's the real men, you say? The people that don't sleep with her, don't fuck her because you want to marry her, put a ring on her. Because you want to be the provider and the protector, and you want to have your wife, and you want to raise your children, and you don't just want to plant your seeds absolutely everywhere thinking you can have 100 kids on the benefit system while the women's are sitting there struggling away. And then all of a sudden you will turn around and go, oh, she's taking my kids and do-da-da, because you've gone and given her a crack or fucking gone and napped it out with somebody else. And I think we have to draw the line, because people are putting their lives together and they're coming together as whole. People are building whole lives, and then somebody goes and fucks it up. And then the whole lives are thrown away, and mothers are getting battered because all of a sudden the father, well, I'm not saying all men hit, and that's the ones that we want, the men's that wouldn't ever dare go and see a prostitute. Do they wank on front of their computers? Do they watch pornography? How many people would really admit that they've got an issue with this? How many men are in relationships texting other women? How many women are in relationships texting other men? Where's the line? Where's the line between a woman and a man being friends? Being friends, you say? Can women be friends? I say, because don't forget, it's meant to be family, community, and colleagues. But it's Christmas, you say, and the lines will get drawn and everything. This is where I have an issue and why I need people going in. The reason I need people going in is because there is a old fat cat's way. It's been going on for many days. There's newbies coming in and they think they've got it and they haven't, and they're too young, so they need some of us behind them, just watching, letting it see them when it's going. And when you see that girl getting pulled into that room, you go, hey, you here, yeah? And between us, we will build up a network. Go to the mayor's balls, I'm asking you to do. Attend all of these events, I'm asking you to do. Put on your ball gowns, I'm asking you to do. Get dressed up. But do it very clever. Be smart, I'm asking you to be diligent and wise, because without the evidence, these people are going to get away with it. Take off your masks, come out of your fake names and stand in your own true authenticity. and take that shame away. Shame I haven't. No, why should I? I was a baby born into this world who probably lost their virginity way, way, way before 12. I also know it was even before then, because the gang rape upon me when I was but 10. I think my uncle started sticking his fingers probably when I was maybe about 4 or 5. The innocence this child has never had. The teddy I grew up believing that my dad brought. I found out actually that was bullshit too. It was actually my mum who went out and bought it and made me grow up thinking that my dad actually cared. So anyway, I don't think we're all cunts and I don't think we're all dimlos. I just think that some of us just don't understand that the queen that sits on the throne in Buckingham Palace isn't the only queen in the world. We women are all queens, just as all men are kings. There are little princes and little princesses, yeah? And that's because we're sovereign beings. It's not grandeur, but they'll tell you it's that way, because dare you start to think the right way. Think the right way, they say. Don't do that, because all of a sudden they'll give you an attack. She's mad, she's crazy, don't think about it. Oh my goodness, she's going to start a revolution. She's going to inspire and enable people to actually wake up and go, what the fuck is going on? So anyway, I say, I'm calling you all, call girls a lot. I want to know who this Christmas is calling you in. Database we shall build. Make sure you get their regs. Make sure, even if you can, make sure you get the gloves with their fingerprints on it. Even the condom, keep the sperm. We can have some fun with this. How far do you want to go? It's not just for me to do, but hey, I might go for a bit of a wiggles if I can get a proper babysitter, because I'm thinking there's a few laps, mate, that I'm quite happy to go and sit on. Take a photograph of me. I really don't care as long as he is sitting in the chair. It's going to be fun. I can have so much fun with this. Because come on, love, every one of us has always wanted to get up one day and pretend to be somebody we're not. I've always been my own self. It's really hard because not many people know how to take me. However, love, I've got shitloads to do, but I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to do. So all you cool girls and all you exes, one, we've got to educate the youth ahead of us that if you go into this life right now, you go into the job and you go into it all, these are the brains that we've got to be getting right now. At the moment, the schooling children, parents have got that, take them out. Simple as that. This system will fall. Now, we all need this system, the government and everything. But like I said, this isn't about all of this. This is about privatization. Privatization for people like me. Come along, I'm the director. Come step up with me. Like I said on my thing, all you police officers going for the drug addicts, I guess, drug dealers, I guess you're going for Bill Gates and all the pharmaceuticals, because this is where the real problem lies. Oh, don't say you've got depression. Give you a pill. Anxiety, knock it down in another pill. Oh my goodness, once you're going to get to that point, which way do you go? Because they're both fucked a lot. Sobriety, it's the key, the way forward for you and me. Because actually, to be a reformed character and actually walking around and knowing where you're placed in this world is quite nice. And at least you know you've got another chance in grace. It's fun, the journey. We call it life. It gets a little bit tough and there can be a bit of strife. We can't change what people do or what people say. All we can change is what it means to us today. To us today, it might be something tomorrow, but we can grow from it and move forward and, strive tomorrow. But I can have people whinging and crying. You can't hear my kids, but they are up because most people's children are in bed because they got to go to school. But my children, like the foxes and all of the nightlife, children need to understand day and night. Fear, false evidence appear real. And by the way, Tim, I've always been coaching, and now you want all my networks. Now you're interested and you say, oh, that was 10 years ago. I've had hundreds of cases since then. Well, if you'd listened to me 10 years ago, maybe you would save them hundreds of cases. 450 quid, I wonder how much you've taken. How many of them people through John Hemmings and Tim and Julie Haynes, how many of them have kept their kids? This is what I want to know. All the Mackenzie friends out there as well. How much have you had to pay people to try to help you when actually, really, they're just taking it, sniffing it. So anyway, speak up, step up. If I'd written that, it would have said step up, speak up, but they can't because they haven't got my permission to do it, but keep going. I don't want you to have my permission to do it because even step up's not my coin. Keep going, people. I don't care how it's done, who does it, because it ain't no race. I ain't in a competition with you and you ain't in a competition with me. I can't run to your speed and you can't run to mine. So if you want to run fast, I'll applaud you all the way. And even if I come in like a fucking snail and I give up at halfway, I hope you still get up and give me a clap just for at least fucking trying. Because the God loves a trier, but he doesn't like a fucking liar. So stop lying to yourselves and each other. Be open, truthful and transparent with us. It's so much easier. We can really get things done. And that's why the system is fucked from day one, because how many people really want to sit down with a police officer and a social worker and go, boom. Unfortunately, somebody like me has no filters and no boundaries, and I just go, boom. And I've already done it today in the middle of the thing, because today, home for Christmas. There's a lot of people stuck at the moment. They've got bullets to their heads. They're being held in cages. There's many even children who are in lorries, people being transported, and many other sorry stories. Many of these will get fucked and raped. They will be trafficked off and sold, drugged and raped. Murdered many will be. And yes, it goes on. But while you're all just fucking your thumb, thinking there's nothing you can do about it, nothing you can say, but the best thing that you could do is not judge people anyway. If you didn't judge people, then people wouldn't live in shame, and we could actually tell people, hey, I need some help, this is where I am, with no embarrassment and no shame. The Lord will judge us all himself. He will deal with us when we get back to there. It ain't no race, it ain't no game. It's about every single one of you taking back your heart, minds and souls and being able to think for yourself. But anyway, while they play a game, I need to actually now step into their little stupid chess board game, because things are getting serious, and they're going to keep brainwashing you to the point that you'll start hating us. Hate me, I do, but so far you have all seen that I have been right. So maybe, I know, and we're going to get this sorted, darling. We've got to get this sorted. So anyway, in the name of my children, I need to go. But I think you know which way this is going to go.